Iron Man. Okay, so I'm stretching the definition of science fiction a little bit here by talking about a superhero movie, but I do feel like a lot of superhero movies can kind of fit as a subgenre of sci-fi. Or, it's both, because, I mean, Iron Man is about a guy who builds a crazy robot suit, and that's, that's a sci-fi thing, like, totally, right? Yeah, so I decided I would do this because I wanted to watch the movie again, and because I have a lot of feelings about Tony Stark. And because Captain America 3, Civil War, is coming out, like, next month or something. I'm very much looking forward to it, so I wanted to get some of my thoughts about Tony Stark and Iron Man, which is still my favorite of the Marvel superhero movies, and actually my favorite superhero movie in general. It's just so good. So, okay. What do I say? Where do I begin? There's a lot of people who don't like Tony Stark, and this is something that, I mean, I get, like, I don't think I would be friends with him if he were a real person, and were somehow interacting. Like, no, I don't think I'd be friends with him. But, I like the character. And I don't really understand not liking the character, exactly. Like, I mean, he has his flaws. He definitely has his flaws. But so do a lot of characters. Tony Stark is my kind of superhero because I am a person who does not care about superheroes, like, at all. But, like, there's nothing for me there. Oh my god, Superman. He's an alien. Okay? I mean, more power to you if there's something of yourself that you see in Superman, or something you see to strive towards or whatever. For me, it's the closest that it comes is Tony Stark. Though my fictional heroes tend to be, I don't know, like Spock or something, okay? Tony Stark is a hot mess. And the thing is that the way that some people will talk about him who don't like him pisses me off, but also, like, is so inaccurate. Okay, and I don't know anything about the comics. We're not talking about them here. Just this movie. It's like, do they need to sit down and watch Iron Man again? I think they do. Oh, this movie is so good. Okay, so what the appeal of this movie to me, I think, is that it's about this, at its heart, is about a person who makes the decision to be better. And I think that a lot of fictional characters that I like share that trait in common one way or another. Tony Stark is there's that bit at the beginning where they're doing that whole that whole presentation when Tony's getting the award, and it gives you the backstory of Tony Stark, and you see him on the cover of, I don't remember what magazine, but anyway, it says Tony Stark wants to save the world, and I think that's accurate. I think that's the way it is. But the thing is that in this movie, he realizes that what he's been doing, working at Stark Industries and making weapons, is not the way to go. Tony Stark is the sort of person who has the guts to make that kind of decision. To say, all right, to call that press conference and say, all right, Stark Industries will no longer be making weapons. Which is insane. Okay, it's insane. And it's because, I don't know, just so much of this movie is about, like, this person who has contributed, like, bad things to the world. I mean, Tony Stark hasn't, like, personally shot anybody until, I guess, he was escaping from the cave, but I don't think it counts in a case like that. And he hasn't, you know, I mean, it's Obi Stain who's been selling weapons to these, I guess, this militia that wants to take over the Middle East or something and ruin everything there more than it already is. And Tony Stark's just kind of been, I think, riding the high of being this rich, successful guy who's brilliant and can make cool weapons, and he thinks that that's the way to, like, save the world because that's the way his dad did it. And then he sees that he's not right, that there's other things he has to offer. And my favorite moment in this movie is when Tony comes back from blowing up the, you know, he there's that part where he goes over to Gulmira, I think it was, and saves all those people. And anyway, so he's back in his basement, and Pepper comes down and is, like, freaking out because he's been shot and stuff, where there's bullet holes in his suit. And that was the first time that he actually went out and used the suit to, you know, to be Iron Man, essentially. And he says, now how does he put it? Because it's my favorite bit of the movie. He says, well, first of all, she says she'll quit. And he says, what, you stood by my side and reaped the benefit while I was reaping the benefits of, you know, selling all these weapons. But now that I've decided to do something good, you're quitting? You know. And then he says, look, I shouldn't be alive if it weren't for a reason. I just finally know what I'm supposed to do. And it's like, God, I love that. I love that. And I know what little I know about Civil War, given I haven't seen it yet, of course, it hasn't come out yet, is that by that point, it's like 10 years later, and Tony Stark is saying, look, us superheroes, we cause a lot of damage, and we really there need to be rules about what we can and can't do. And I don't know why Steve is not okay with this. Whatever. But, I mean, we'll see how that's all going. But, so he's a very different person 10 years later. But this is the beginning of his journey. Oh man, and I love the ending too. When he's supposed to tell the whole cover story about being on his yacht or whatever, and then he says, I am Iron Man. It's great. It's great. And I love, one thing I absolutely love about it is there's no crap about secret identities. There's no, like, he's going to try and live a double life. He's Tony Stark all the way, and Tony Stark is Iron Man. And he's not going to lie about it. And just when he's, like, still trying to go with the lie and is like, I'm not a superhero, that would be crazy. And amazing. It's like, this guy he wants to save the world. Yeah. And he's saying, oh, I can't be a hero. You know, I couldn't be a superhero. Not with my laundry list of character flaws. And, not with my laundry list of character flaws and, you know, all the bad decisions I've made, mostly in public. It's like, no, Tony, that is why you'd be a good superhero, man. Because you get what it's like to be a person. Because you fucked up a lot, and you learn from stuff like that. And because you are Iron Man. I love this movie. The only thing that I don't like about it, okay, there's like one thing. I don't care that much about the climax. Tony fighting Stain on some level is interesting. Because Stain is like the last holdover, right, from when Howard Stark was in charge. And Stain is the one who's been pushing to keep selling weapons. And he's been going behind Tony's back and selling weapons to, like, all these bad guys. And he ordered this hit on Tony. And then he came and he stole the arc reactor and he tried to kill him. And it's an interesting relationship because clearly Tony has looked up to this guy for years. And, like, Stain has been kind of like a mentor and a father figure to him. and then tries to kill him. But by fighting him and by, you know, taking him out, it's like Tony symbolically, I guess, or literally, getting rid of that last connection kind of, and being able really to move forward from that point. But it's also two guys in metal suits hitting each other, and I don't really care about that much. Oh, I also kind of forgot that Pepper saves the day. Pepper's lovely. And Rhodey's lovely. This is the only time we see this Rhodey. We get the other Rhodey after this, and it's kind of sad. I don't know why they switched actors. But this Rhodey is lovely. I love Rhodey. And, yeah. I like Tony Stark, you know, that he thinks about his legacy and the place that he has in the world, and Yinsen, and what Yinsen said to him, you know, make this worthwhile, right? That you're going to continue living, do something with it. And, you know, yeah, I like Tony Stark, I like Iron Man. The movie. And it's, you know, sort of science fiction. It's also quite a funny movie at times, and kind of a sad and, I don't know, real movie at times. So, in conclusion, my favorite of the Marvel comic book movies. And also the first one, so, you know. There are other ones I like, certainly. But this is always going to be the favorite one.